hit up today.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the city of Battle Creek. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the city of Battle Creek and the Battle Creek City Commission meeting for Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. It is 7 o'clock. Been a very busy day in Battle Creek. Kayla Halls is here from the Detroit News, and we're going to have our meeting. We'll have a moment of silence to start our meeting with it for our invocation, and then we'll have a Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to call upon Commissioner Sophia to lead us in the pledge. And Alicia is also taking the place of our clerk tonight, so we're going to work together and make certain that we're not going to walk on each other during the meeting. So at this time, if you could, please stand for a moment of silence, our invocation, and then our pledge will be led by Commissioner Sophia. Commissioner Sophia.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on our agenda is roll call. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Blood. Can you hear me? Mike?
I am. Thank you.
Not working. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Wonderful. Commissioner Blood is noted as absent. Commissioner Herring?
Present.
Commissioner Lance?
Here.
Mayor Banky?
Here.
Commissioner Morris?
Here.
Commissioner Reynolds?
Present.
Commissioner Sophia?
Here.
Commissioner Zenda Wilson?
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Next item on our agenda is the Proclamation Awards, and we're very happy to present a proclamation for Pride Month 2022. I see a number of people here. I'd like to invite anyone that would like to come up to receive it and to talk a little bit about the activities taking place during Pride Month and any other comments. So feel free to bring as many as you would like.
Should I come down, Bonica, from HRB? Should Human Relations Board be present?
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
Oh, you okay?
If we could all gather around, and then I'm going to pass the microphone this way. If you could just announce your name, and then afterwards we'll ask for some comments about the activities. So,
My name is Dina Spencer, and I'm one of the co-presidents of Battle Creek Pride.
My name is Elaine Hadley. I'm the treasurer of Battle Creek Pride.
And I'm Nancy Kenny, and I was on the board a couple years ago.
Tabitha Kane, I'm the administrative assistant for the board.
Tristan Bradhoft, and I'm here in support of BC Pride.
Thank you. Michelle Salazar, she, her, hers, board member.
Marilyn Cook-Strobel, proud ally.
I'm James Silva, and I'm a board member with BC Pride.
Charlie Fulbright, former past president of Battle Creek Pride and proud supporter.
I'm Jordan Champion, and I'm here in support of BC Pride.
Reese Atkins, here in support of BC Pride.
well, thank you very much, and please allow me to read the proclamation. Whereas President Bill Clinton declared June Gay and Lesbian Pride Month in June of 2000 to commemorate the June 1969 Stonewall riots in Lower Manhattan. And whereas President Barack Obama expanded the celebration further by declaring June lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender month, Pride Month. And whereas Pride Month is not only a time of celebration, but it is also an opportunity to peacefully protest and raise political awareness of current issues facing the LGBTQ plus community. And whereas the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Each of us who works for social change also works for justice. Change takes a long time, but it does happen. Sometimes change occurs through individual advocacy, sometimes through policy reform, and sometimes through a lawsuit, and sometimes through a simple resolution and proclamation." And whereas the city of Battle Creek has had a proud place in the history of LGBTQ plus equality and the successful passing of our inclusive non-discrimination ordinance in 2013. And whereas the Rainbow Pride flag promotes a symbol of inclusion, not division, and sends a positive message to the young people in our community that says, irrespective of your sexual orientation or your gender identity and expression, you are safe, valued, empowered, and supported by your peers and your community leaders. And whereas while the city of Battle Creek has a long and proud tradition of being an inclusive community, it recognizes that as long as injustices exist, it threatens all that has been accomplished. And whereas June has become a symbolic month in the United States and around the world for LGBTQ plus people and their allies to come together in various celebrations of acceptance, equality, and pride, this has been an established custom since 1969 Stonewall Uprising, which served as a catalyst for the modern-day LGBTQ plus civil rights movement. The month of July is when we traditionally celebrate LGBTQ plus Pride Month in the city of Battle Creek. Therefore, on behalf of the citizens of the city of Battle Creek, we do hereby proclaim the month of July 2022 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month in the city of Battle Creek. And we invite each of our neighbors to reflect on ways we can all live and work together on the struggle for equality that members of the LGBTQ community face each and every day. We celebrate their contributions that enhance our city. I urge all of us to recognize and promote equal rights for all. Once again, on behalf of the City Commission, we want to say thank you for your participation and the information that you have provided in this proclamation, because I think you were very thorough in how the words were chosen, and I applaud your organization for doing that. Not each and every organization is as thorough as you are. So I would like to pass this to the president and make the presentation. Thank you, Len.
You're welcome.
First of all, thank you, Mayor Benke, and thank you, commissioners and the city of Battle Creek for recognizing us and honoring us and giving us a voice and a place in this city. We appreciate that. We know that we as an organization have a lot of continued work to do in equity and inclusion, and we are committed to furthering those efforts. And we also know we've come a long way in those efforts as well. So steps are continuing to be made, and strides are being made to continue to move forward. We want to thoroughly thank you all. We've got a lot of support in this room, and we really appreciate that. And we couldn't be seen and heard without all of you as allies and supporters standing up for us and helping us be seen and heard. So thank you for that.
Is there anyone that would like to just give us a brief synopsis of some of the activities coming up in the next month?
All right, so we have lots of things coming up in the month of July. Our celebration will be July 14th through the 17th this year. So we usually do a 4-day celebration. Thursday evening, we will have a trivia game called LGBTQ&A. And I can tell you that some commissioners in the past have participated. Rebecca Fleury has participated in the past. It's a lot of fun, and it's just a trivia game. 1, to learn some things about our community, and 2, just to have some fun. So that'll be happening Thursday at 7 o'clock, I believe, at Millerstone Building. Okay. Friday night is our parade downtown Battle Creek at 7 p.m. with a drag show at Wave Park following the parade. And we are happy to announce that our Grand Marshal this year will be Attorney General Dana Nessel. So we're super excited about that. We just got the confirmation last week about that, so that was a huge thing for us. So we're pretty excited to have her just participate with us. Saturday is our Pride Festival from 1 to 7 at Lila Arboretum in the Fantasy Forest area, so please come join us for that. And then Sunday night, we will wrap up the weekend with a more somber event, which is our Candlelight Vigil that'll be held at the Sojourner Truth Monument downtown. That starts at 9 p.m., and that is to honor those in our community that have lost their lives for whatever reason, whether it was their own hand or violence, and just to honor that this road is not pretty and it's not easy, and that there's people that have paved the way so that we can be here today and that we can be standing here. Without them, we wouldn't be standing up here at all. And so we want to just not forget those folks. So please join us. Allies are always welcome. Come celebrate and come honor those people. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And I just would like to say once again, thank you for making Battle Creek a better community. Your representation tonight says a lot about what you believe in. And we just want to say thank you and good luck. And I hope my family will be able to come out to one of the 4 events. So thank you very much. Matter of fact, Alexis has an internship with Ms. Nessel. So we look forward to it. Thank you very much. Once again, thanks for bringing such a large group to the presentation. Next, we're going to turn it over to our city manager for a presentation.
Thank you. Actually, I am just going to introduce our presentation tonight. As the commission knows, we like to share what's going on in our departments. Sometimes it can feel like we're so big. So we take this opportunity to share what's happening, and tonight is a human resources update. So it is my pleasure to introduce our HR director, Michelle Hull. I can no longer call her our newest director. But she certainly has had one of the biggest impacts we have, touching everyone in the city, even those that don't eventually come to work with us and those that retire with us. So we are greatly appreciative of Michelle and her team, and she's going to share an update about HR. Thanks, Michelle.
Good evening. So this is my first time actually presenting at a commission meeting. I will admit I got a little bit of the jitters, but I think if I just admit that out loud, it helps me out a little bit. So I've been here nearly 3 years, and I've met many of you in our little Zoom boxes. I'm happy to be here finally in person with all of you. And for those present who may not know me, my name is Michelle Hull. I'm the HR director with the city. I'll be here 3 years come July 8th. So I want to thank you for the opportunity, Mayor and Commissioners, to provide you with a brief update of my department. I don't have many slides here, but hope to give you an overview of who we are, what we've been working on, and what the coming year will look like. So our HR department is currently fully staffed at 8 members. Our head count recently increased by 2 in the last 12 months. The HR assistant position was added back into the budget for this fiscal year 22 after being unfunded since FY17. Additionally, DPW and Carl Fetters was gracious enough to support funding for an additional safety officer position that reports up through HR. To briefly run through introductions, we have Hane Tompkins, who's our HR generalist specializing in benefits, supports and all benefits offered to both active employees and all of our retirees. Elizabeth Reiser is our insurance loss control specialist, focusing on leave administration as well as liability claims from residents. Brendan Pazala is our chief safety officer and covers all things safety citywide. Brendan also works closely with Mallory at Transit for safety management functions related to our public transit agency safety plan. Chelsea Sears and Pam Smith are my HR generalists, who essentially have split the city and have several departments that they're responsible for supporting. For example, Chelsea will support the fire department and all of DPW. Pam will support the police department and all of transit, among other departments. Amanda is our new safety officer and is primarily focused on safety activities at the Department of Public Works and Wastewater Treatment Plant. And Tony is our new HR assistant that really supports all of us each and every day. She's been a great addition. As a whole, the Human Resources Department is split into two focus streams. On the left there, you have your main HR functions. We like to think of them as a life cycle, from requisition to retirement and everything in between. This is where a good deal of the day-to-day work is focused, primarily for Hane, Pam, and Chelsea, who provide day-to-day support to pretty much anything our employees or even our retirees, and there are many, may need. My department also focuses on compensation and benefit strategies and any changes, employee and labor relations actions and activities such as United Way campaign, employee appreciation picnic, even complaints or employee investigations. We all have a hand in policy management, reviewing and revising and updating policies as necessary, which has been a focus of mine since I began my employment. On the right side breaks down our risk functions. This is where Elizabeth, Brendan, Amanda focus their day-to-day activities. We do have annually required safety training for city departments and compliance requirements that need to be audited and maintained. I mentioned Elizabeth's responsibility for leave administration. Our sick and accident and workers' comp benefits are self-funded, and while Elizabeth works with a third-party administrator on workers' comp, she really is the go-to person for any employee who may be injured or ill. Elizabeth also handles our special events and reviews our insurance liabilities as needed to ensure adequate coverages are in place. This slide provides a brief overview of our staffing over the last 5 years. The top line just reflects staffing numbers at July 1st of each year. With the exception of 2022, I pulled those last week. You can see that we have steadily dropped in our staffing year over year. Primarily, we did have a negative impact with the pandemic and our budget. So we lost some individuals at the end of 2020, early in 2021, or at the end of the fiscal year in June of 21. Since the pandemic, we have seen our fair share in difficulty of filling staffing positions. Like most employers, our candidate pool just isn't as big as it used to be, and we've had to fight for some of those candidates with even our Calhoun County partner neighbors. Many employees have left for higher hourly rates and sign-on bonuses that we've not been able to compete with. We are presently sitting on 60 open positions as of today. Chelsea and Pam have spent nearly their entire time focused on interviewing and hiring to help fill these positions with all of our hiring managers throughout the organization. This provides an overview of our staffing per employee group, really breaks down the individuals and the number of employees that are covered under the collective bargaining agreements and also the contract expiration dates. You'll note that 6 of the 9 collective bargaining agreements will expire in 2024. IAFF 335 and the OSP contracts will expire back-to-back in 25 and 26, and we are presently preparing to go to the bargaining table with ATU at Transit. Our non-rep workforce currently represents about 67 individuals. I mentioned earlier that we have a very large retiree base, so it's not just the active employees that we support, over 400 retirees from the city. We still provide service to them and any of their dependents who may call in. They may call in for address changes, direct deposit changes for pension, and obviously every fall we go through open enrollment for their benefits. Listed there below are really where all of our retirees fall. Anybody who is a non-fire or police retiree falls into our MERS groups. And then if you're a police or fire retiree, you would fall into one of those 4 groups. Our most recent and open groups are the retiree health funding vehicles for police and fire, and the 401H and Fire Act 312 groups are for older retirees, and those are currently closed. Previously, I mentioned that we've seen our share of difficulty in recruiting efforts. You'll note here that we do have 3 openings in key positions right now. Our fire chief, we hope to hire a DEI director very soon, and an aviation director. I'm happy to say that we hired 5 key positions, actually 6 with the 2 DCs over the last 12 months, and I'm happy to say they're all still working here as well. We have active promotional lists in both the police and fire department for internal promotion and backfilling of roles. In fact, we have exhausted or will be exhausting our fire lieutenant eligibility list in the coming weeks, so we're starting the process of creating a new list there. Human Resources has been working very closely with the police department on their openings, and there's been many. They've been caused by attrition, so several retirements over the years, but also some from that highly competitive market that I spoke about earlier. We have a new internal interview team over at the police department who's done a great job at kicking off a new Interview Now app, which is really just a fancy recruitment tool that will blast out communication to individuals who may not know they want to be a police officer yet, and that has drummed up some interest in our department. We have over 20 candidates in the pipeline to help backfill openings as soon as they complete their academies. I also want to mention that we have a partnership with the Career Academies at Battle Creek Central High School. This will be our 3rd summer going into partner with those career pathways in several different areas. So that is the hope of finding future prospects who may have an interest in working for the city. Additionally, we are exploring a new employee referral program so that even our current employees may benefit from our recruitment pipeline. So we haven't really been very busy this last year. That's just a joke. We've been all things COVID since the pandemic began, focused on just about everything as the situation was extremely fluid and changing every day. So I do want to point out that HR had been intricately involved throughout the entire pandemic, from policy creation to training to tracking positive cases, tracing close contacts, ordering PPE, ordering test kits, getting ready for any vaccination requirements, and all of the communication in between there. So I couldn't be more thankful to my staff for their support and engagement to help what was ever needed at that time. Since the onset, we've actually had 268 cases. I understand that says 267, but we had a positive one come in over the weekend, and I'd already finished my presentation. So other new updates over the last 12 months, we do consider telework as an option for individuals who can successfully complete their work at home, and that's been very beneficial to many. HR has received and reviewed several reclassification requests from the city collective bargaining agreements, which is primarily driven by individuals believing that their classification scale is not what it should be, so we have a process there to review those. We have overhauled and updated job descriptions and worked on several policy updates. We kicked off the equity audit last summer, which is finished now, and also completed OSP negotiations in the fall. That's the Organization of Supervisory Personnel for Fire. The city has partnered with Battle Creek Unlimited to participate in their train program. which provides relocation assistance to those who may purchase a new home within the city limits, and we have had individual take advantage of that program. We had 8 individuals complete the Professional Development Academy through ICMA. This last winter, and in March, we had a pretty significant change to our CDL requirements and the way that we bring an individual in who may need to be licensed. We are now going through entry-level driver's training with them, and that's a very large program that Brendan is working with DPW and Transit on. So moving forward, some of the things that we are planning for. We have the results from our DEI action plan. So HR will be working with Rebecca on posting for a DEI director role. That's primary number 1. And then focusing on what those action plans are for the next 2 to 3 years. Many of those will be some of the policy improvements that I mentioned. We have ATU negotiations in August. We will continue to work on those policies, getting them updated. We have a new template and a new format, and making sure that they've been refreshed and are up to date. I'm excited for work that's being done to create a new HR portal, which is really just a one-stop shop. Could be an app on your phone where you'll find everything related to HR that you might need. We will be focusing on supervisory training and improving our onboarding and new hire orientation. We've sought feedback from individuals who have recently been onboarded and have areas that we can improve upon, and that's always a good thing. Pam, Chelsea, Tony, and myself are currently attending a training for Hire Reach, which is a new, it will change our current behavioral-based interviewing process to a more skill or evidence-based interviewing process, focusing on job fit assessments and career interests. We hope that this will reduce some of the bias in the current process. We've been exploring and will continue to explore all benefits and where we may be able to offer some enhancement. Some of those are listed there. And lastly, we hope to continue some work towards a new human resources information system or a platform that can be more robust and customized than our current HRS system. Those are just a few things that we'll be working on. And just as an overview, some of the items that HR does bring to commission, either from the human resources stream or the risk stream, I wanted to include that. A couple of them are on for tonight. So we will do the benefit plan and liability carrier resolutions. We will bring any service credit purchase requests for pension. And then if there's ever a need to rehire a retiree, there is a process that needs to have commission approval for that too that we'll bring, or contractors. That was my update for my department. I hope I stayed underneath the time frame. Do you have any questions?
You did very well. Are there any comments or questions for our human resources?
I just want to thank you, Michelle. It does look like through your leadership, we're really trying some new things that will really get at some of the things that were lifted up in the equity audit earlier too. So thank you for your leadership, and I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Michelle, just real quick, I just would like to say thank you. You cover so much for the city of Battle Creek. It's a good report that you produced and you gave us tonight. It's something that we all should be aware of, so thank you.
Thank you. I could have put a lot more in it, but I knew I had to keep it brief.
Thank you for that.
Okay, Chair noting any added or deleted resolutions?
There were none.
Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is petitions, communications, and reports.
There were none.
Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is public comments regarding consent agenda and resolutions not on the consent agenda. These comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual. Allow me to make this public comment. If you'd like to make a public comment regarding the consent agenda and resolutions not on the consent agenda, please raise your hand and we will acknowledge you to come forward to the podium. You will have 3 minutes to make your comments. Please state your name and address before beginning your comments. Now, the reason why we ask that is in the event that we need to get back in touch with you, we'll have your name and address. Is there anyone that would like to make a public comment at this time? Reese Adkins, and then we'll go to Lindsay Wheeler.
Good evening. I am here today for Resolution 433, resolution seeking declarance for July as Pride Month in the city of Battle Creek and directing to fly the pride flag. This commissioner last year approved this. I appreciate it. look very good up there. And I'm asking this year once again that the same commissioner that approved it last year to approve it again this year. Is going to be extremely fun. It's going to be a fun-filled month. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reese, for your comments and making them brief, too. Lindsay Wheeler?
Lindsay Wheeler, 218 Leland Drive South. In regards to 433, seeking a declaration for July as Pride Month, unnecessary. Homosexuality is a sin. You're calling God's judgment down on Battle Creek. It is a sexual perversion. It is, you're teaching, you're spreading it that it's okay for man to lie with man and woman to lie with woman. That's unnatural. We're having a falling birth rate anyway. Why should we be spreading something that is sinful? You're just Sodom and Gomorrah. That's all this is. And to fly a flag, you're promoting it, you're advocating it, and you're telling impressionable children that it's all right. You know, if they want to do that, it's good. Keep it in their bedroom, behind closed doors, keep it in a closet, but it has no place in the community. You're all about inclusivity. What about Christianity? And you don't have the fear of God? The fear of God, the goodness. Homosexuality is an evil. It's a perversity. It has no business in our society. It's about being a man, and you're training other people to be effeminate, to be takers instead of givers. And that's totally opposite. This is disgusting.
Are there any other public comments? Yes, Lynn Moore Gray.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Lynn Ward Gray, 245 Irving Park Drive. And I just wanted to say, hate is sinful. And I wanted to make sure that our community embraces everyone. We had a wonderful Juneteenth Family Day celebration, and everyone is welcome in this community, and I just wanted to stress that today. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn, for your comments, and once again, congratulations on the Juneteenth celebration. Are there any other, yes, Gian.
Dina Spencer, 34 Radley Street, Battle Creek. I first want to say thank you to the city for being an inclusive city and protecting its citizens under the law and under the resolutions that are passed within the city. And I also want to say I appreciate the inclusivity that Battle Creek offers and the direction that Battle Creek is going to continue that inclusivity and to continue to grow and train and revisit what that looks like for all of us. So I also implore you to please pass this resolution when it comes before you in a few minutes and make those young people's, make their lives matter, make the visual representation that they are seen and they are heard. Suicide rates in our community are incredibly high, and that is part of the reason why is because we are told that hate, that we're not okay for who we are, and that's simply not true. And I just appreciate your consideration of this resolution. So thank you.
Thank you for your kind comments, and we appreciate your consideration and everything you do in our Battle Creek community. Are there any other public comments at this time? John Kennefic, and then we'll go to Jerry Steiner after John Kennefic.
John Kennefic, 234 South Avenue. This is in regards to Resolution 431. You're going to be authorizing $195,300 for the flooring at the Kellogg Arena. And that's very interesting. Normally you'd be paying that through the public treasury, but you may be getting that from emergency federal dollars. This is a non-essential service, so let's go back in time to the Battle Creek Inquirer, October 20th, 2005, page 4. Top of it says, Kennewick feels city residents are overtaxed. $2.5 million repair from the city treasury to the Kellogg Arena. And that's after 25 years of operating time, which they were allowed to put money aside, which they didn't do, causing budget concerns. This is the response in the article in regards to Serial City Development Corporation, the group that provides management for the city-owned arena, is expected to repay the city as they are able, according to the arena manager, Kevin Shibley. When he says, when we are able, that tells me immediately he has no intention of paying that money back. So I guess one of the first questions should be asked is, have they ever put any money back from the public treasury, back to the public treasury, created by the money
John,
from?
John, I'm going to stop you. Are you talking about Resolution 431, or are
Yes,
you
I
talking
am.
about something else?
I'm talking about money that's going to the Kellogg Arena for flooring. And then I'm referring that to money being squandered years ago at $2.5 million, and them saying, the city, Serial City Development Corporation, saying they're going to pay that back, which they haven't done. So I'm just bringing out a similarity in regards to money being squandered by the public treasury of the $195,300.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you were speaking to Resolution 431.
Are you still on page here?
I'm confused whether or not you're speaking to Resolution 431.
I'm speaking in Resolution 431 in regards to rating the public treasury and how you've done it in the past. You're also going to be probably increasing costs because of things that are not important, and then turn around and say things that are important, you want tax increases. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Jerry Steiner?
Resolution 433, I generally don't mix politics and religion, but because we're faced with so much division in America, if not the world, I'm going to refer to something I learned in Bible class. Judge, least not to be judged. I believe in my heart that it's wrong for me to judge anyone on their sexual orientation. Sure, we've been taught in Sunday school that it's wrong, but the final arbitrator is God. So why should I point fingers at somebody who loves somebody else? Personally, myself, live and let live. Love who you want to love, because there's not enough love in the world now anyway, or we wouldn't be in the situation we're in. Never seen so much decisiveness. Everybody pointing fingers at somebody else because they don't like them, or they don't like what they do, or they don't like the God they serve. Look here, y'all. Y'all know I'm a man that's been accused from time to time of being a little rough around the edges. But I'm kind of sensitive to an issue like this when you're trying to tell somebody else how to live. Already squeezing the girls. I'm pro-life, but I can't tell a woman what to do with her body. I got a lot of opinions, just like everybody up here. See, y'all missing a spot. Anyway, this Pride Month, if it can bring us together in unity just for a moment, or maybe for a week, or perhaps the whole month, I think it would be a godsend. I think I got about a minute left, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up as quickly as possible. What if it was your child, or your brother, or your mother, or your father who was gay? Would you kick them out the house? Would you disown them? Most people won't, they won't do that. They'll try to understand how a person might feel, or how a person might be orientated, or whatever the situation might be. We got to be more understanding. You hear me, y'all? We got to be more understanding. We got a whole lot of understanding for what we want. But what about our fellow man? What about them? Well, I'm at the end of my time, so I'm gonna leave you like I always do. Peace.
Peace to you too, Jerry. Is there any other public comments? Yes, Charlie.
Charlie Fulbright, 312 Capitol Avenue Northeast, Battle Creek, Michigan, 49017. Great things are happening in the city of Battle Creek. First, I want to say I am so proud to be effeminate. I'm so proud to be a Battle Creeker. I will never be going back in the closet. And I want to thank you all so much for your support over the last 10 years that I've been with Battle Creek Pride. I want to also personally invite you all to join in the parade, as you've done every single year. I would love to have the City Commission and city workers walk in our parade this year. And I also want to say I'm very proud to be a God-loving Christian, and my church, First Congregational Church, loves me and supports me and doesn't care that I'm gay or effeminate, and will also support me in being my true authentic self. So thank you all so much for supporting me through my journey from birth till here. I graduated from Lakeview. I'm a board member of Battle Creek Public Schools, and all 4 school districts in Battle Creek have a Gay Straight Alliance. The whole city is very supportive, and it starts with the City Commission, so thank you all so much for your support.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Charlie, and thank you for your work that you perform on the Battle Creek Public Schools. I know it's not easy to serve an elected official, but we appreciate you coming forward and doing the work you do there. Thank you. Are there any other public comments at this time? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Michelle Salazar. If I have to state my address, it's 114 Wabash. So the only reason why I'm actually making a comment today is because I moved to Battle Creek in 2016, where I left the city of Miami because I was kicked out of my house for identifying pansexual. And so to, I guess, find a home in Battle Creek, moving from, I guess, like a big city where everybody, you know, wants to go, and it is a very, you know, it does have a very accepting community. It was, you know, where my family resides, and they, you know, disowned me. And I found a home in Battle Creek where I have been able to further my education, have a great stable job. I found a lifelong partner. I have property here. And yes, even though I have faced discrimination for multiple reasons in this city, I do feel very welcomed, and a place, I have found a place where I want to call home. And I just want to make that comment and thank everybody from the city who has helped me, guided me, and mentored me, and accepted me. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Good job. Are there any other public comments at this time? Thank you very much. Well, now we'll go to commission comment regarding meeting business.
I move for the approval of the consent agenda.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the consent agenda. Are there any questions on the consent agenda from the commission? Seeing none, would you please vote on the consent agenda?
I did. Oh, now I gotta log back in. Can you do it verbally, Alicia?
Commissioner Lance?
Yes.
Thank you. Can I submit my vote as well? Didn't come up on my screen, Alicia.
Go right ahead.
So yes, please. Thank you. Thank you.
believe the consent agenda has been approved.
I apologize. Commissioner Zenda Wilson's vote's not populating in, but
Okay.
it did pass.
Well, we'll just show her vote as being supportive.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is Resolution 426. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
The fiscal year 2022 began July 1st, 2021, with an adopted budget showing a general fund use of fund balance of $3,630,579. The impact of COVID-19 was continuing, and a conservative approach to revenues was used in the budget development. The Commission approved the fiscal year 2022 budget with direction to administration that it was not sustainable, and there was an expectation that close monitoring of major revenue sources continued throughout the fiscal year to determine if further expenditure reductions were required to match revenues with expenditures. Fortunately, as has been discussed and presented in interim financial statements and the budget workshop, income tax revenues have greatly exceeded expectations. It is the estimated increase, specifically income tax revenues, that has the primary impact on the estimated fund balance addition for the year ending June 30th, 2022. With this amendment, budget general fund revenues are proposed to increase $4,456,000, of which $3.9 million is increased income tax revenue as detailed above. As the state has finalized the pass-through of marijuana revenues and has increased constitutional revenue sharing, the city is able to positively adjust revenues for these finalized numbers as shown above. Several departments had unexpected circumstances, some COVID-related, that required expenditure budget adjustments as prepared. This resolution seeks the approval for the fiscal year 2021-2022 year-ending budget adjustments for the city's general fund, Fund 101, Inspections Fund, Fund 249, and Downtown Development Authority Fund, Fund 248.
I move for the approval of Resolution 426.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve Resolution 426. Are there any commission comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 426? Resolution 426 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 427. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Post Holdings has expressed concerns about the safety of their employees crossing Cliff Street between their plant and their employee parking lot. Previous efforts to improve safety there have not produced satisfactory results. On December 21st, 2021, the City Commission Resolution 275, allowing Post to install, at their expense, a mid-block traffic signal on Cliff Street between Marjorie and Inn Road. If approved, changes in traffic control would authorize permanent temporary traffic control order number 1729. That order authorizes the operation of a mid-block traffic signal on Cliff Street between Marjorie and Inn. It also provides that the existing traffic signal at the Cliff-Marjorie intersection be placed in flashing operation, flashing yellow on Cliff and red on Marjorie, for 90 days, after which that signal can be removed. It also provides for the installation of a stop sign facing Marjorie Street traffic at Cliff Street. This resolution requests approval for the operation of a traffic signal at the mid-block crosswalk on Cliff Street between Marjorie Street and Inn Road, and the removal of the existing traffic signal at the Cliff Street and Marjorie Street intersection.
I move for the approval of Resolution 427.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve Resolution 427. Do we have any comments by the commission, concerns, or questions on Resolution 427? I'm not seeing none, so let's go ahead and vote on 427, please. Resolution 427 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 428. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Midwest Employers Casualty Company, MECC, is our current carrier for the excess workers' compensation insurance. There is an increase of 32% this year over last year due to the increase in payroll expenses and a tight market for vendors offering excess workers' compensation coverage. The city went to market for quotes from 4 carriers, and 3 of the 4 declined to bid, quote, our business because they cannot compete with the rates from MECC. We have a self-insured retention level of $650,000, and MECC has handled historical claims to our satisfaction. This resolution requests authorization for the city manager to enter into a service agreement with Midwest Employers Casualty Company to provide excess workers' compensation insurance services for the period of 7/1/2022 through June 30th, 2023, for the total cost of $73,594.
Move for the approval of Resolution 428.
Support.
So moved and supported to approve Resolution 428. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns from the commission? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 428?
Voting simulator's not working. Commissioner Herring?
Yes.
Commissioner Lance?
Yes.
Mayor Binky?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Reynolds?
Yes.
Commissioner Sophia?
Yes.
Commissioner Zenda Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 428 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 429. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
The city's MERS pension system allows members to purchase up to 5 years of generic service credit, and Ms. Perry has made the request in May 2022 to purchase 1 year, 4 months of generic service credit. MERS is a defined benefit pension plan that covers all of the city's non-uniformed employees. Approval of the governing body is required. The entire actuarial cost of the service credit purchase must be paid in a lump sum to MERS by Ms. Perry. This resolution seeks authorization for Deanna Perry to purchase 1 year, 4 months of generic service credit pursuant to the provisions of the Municipal Employees Retirement Systems, MERS.
Move for the approval of Resolution 429.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 429. Are there any comments by the commission, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, would you please vote? Resolution 429 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 430. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
A solicitation was issued April 28, 2022 for the Data Center Equipment Warranties Project. This project consists of extending the city's data center services and storage equipment warranties until the end of the service life. This resolution seeks acceptance of the approval of best value for extended data center equipment warranties from Access Interactive LLC in a not-to-exceed amount of $106,352.
Move for the approval of Resolution 430.
Support.
So moved and supported to approve Resolution 430. Are there any comments by the commission, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 430?
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 430 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 431. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
The Kellogg Arena has needed to expand and replace some of its sports court flooring. Federal-funded projects provide an exception to the competitive process if only one vendor can provide the goods or services. This system qualifies as a single-source justification, allowing for a non-competitive contract process for this ARPA-funded project. This resolution seeks authorization regarding a contract with Busy Bee Landscaping Incorporated to purchase sports floor flooring at the Kellogg Arena in a not-to-exceed amount of $195,300.
I move for the approval of Resolution 431.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 431. Are there any questions by the commission, comments, or concerns on Resolution 431? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 431? Resolution 431 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 432. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
A solicitation was issued May 4th, 2022 for the Mingus Brook Pump Station Improvement Project. This project consists of the reconstruction of the sanitary, which includes building removal, below-grade structure and piping modifications, replacement of existing pumps, channel grinder, as well as generator, removal of diesel generator and tank, relocation of bioxide tank and other supporting apertures. This pavement and landscaping replacement. This resolution seeks the acceptance of the lowest responsible bid for the Mingus Brook Pumping Station Improvements Project from Davis Construction, Inc. in a not-to-exceed amount of $1,427,280.
Madam Clerk,
Yeah.
we have a different amount on.
I think you just transposed. It should be $1,472,280.
You are correct. My apologies. Thank you.
I would move for the approval of Resolution 432.
Support.
So moved and supported to approve Resolution 432. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns by the commission? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 432? Resolution 432 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 433. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
On July 6th, 2021, the City Commission approved Resolution 180, establishing a policy regarding flag display. This policy states that the city's flagpoles are not intended to serve as a forum for free expression of the public, but rather a display of federal, state, and city flags, or a temporary replacement of the city flag with any commemorative flag as it may be authorized by resolution of the City Commission as an expression of the city's official sentiments. This resolution seeks declaration for July as Pride Month for the City of Battle Creek and directs staff to fly the Pride flag at City Hall for the duration of the month.
I move for the approval of Resolution 433.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 433. Are there any comments, concerns, or questions by the commission? Commissioner Sophia.
Thank you, Mayor. I really wish that this resolution had been two different resolutions. One recognizing July as Pride Month, and then a second resolution authorizing the flying of the flag. And I think I made that same remark at last year's meeting when the flag was approved, or when the flying of the flag was approved. I don't have a problem at all with declaring July as Pride Month. I think that that is a wonderful thing for this board to do. But as I have stated on numerous occasions before, I have a problem with our flag policy, and as such, I will be voting no on any resolution until such time as that flag policy is amended and my concerns are addressed. So I will be voting no on Resolution 433. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commission comments? Hearing none, would you please vote on Resolution 433?
Commissioner Herring? Thank you.
Resolution 433 has been approved. Thank you very much. Next item. Next item on our agenda is general public comment, limited to 3 minutes per individual. If you'd like to make a comment regarding a general public comment, regarding matters over which the City Commission has control, please raise your hand and wait for the commission to acknowledge you, and then come forward to the podium. You will have 3 minutes to make your comment. Please state your name and address prior to beginning your comment, so that may be able to get back to you if you have a question. Are there any public comments at this time? We're going to go to Kathy Antea, then we're going to go to Jerry Steiner, and we're going to go to Lindsay Wheeler. Kathy, go ahead.
Thank you for recognizing me. Kathy Antea, 117 Park Ridge. I'd like to make 3 comments. First of all, I want to thank you very much for passing the Pride Month resolution and flying our flag above City Hall. Once again, I think that really speaks a lot to the city of Battle Creek and the work that we're trying to do to make our community more inclusive. So thank you very much, Commissioners. I appreciate that. And thank you, City, for that policy. I also want to remind everyone, and I'm pretty sure that y'all will know what I'm going to say here, but I need to do this for the public. I want to remind everybody that diversity, equity, and inclusion is not just a feel-good, kumbaya kind of empty action. And instead, by enacting DEI policy and actions in Battle Creek, it will be difficult, it is going to take time, and it will cost us money. But like any other infrastructure improvement that we make in the city, for instance, the variable frequency drive pumps that we had installed in the wastewater treatment plant a couple of years ago, they cost a lot of money up front, but they immediately started paying us back. And that's what a DEI policy will do. It will ensure that we are actually hearing from a diversity of voices and a bunch of different people who can inform and more effectively help us to govern our city. So thank you very much, and I just wanted to remind you of that. So DEI is an investment, a long-term investment in our community, and I want to encourage us to continue moving forward with that. Finally, I also want to speak very quickly about the filling of the empty seat on the City Commission. And while I have served under Lynn Ward Gray for many different community actions, and she is extraordinarily organized, and I would gladly work under her at any time. I've watched her as a city commissioner. I was, quite frankly, a little bit disturbed that we were so ready to appoint someone immediately to the city commission without getting any input. And I'll just be straight up when I say this. Had a certain white man been nominated to fill that position, I would have been jumping up and down in the back of the room saying, wait, we need more transparency on this process. And while I support Lynn's appointment, I also applaud y'all for taking the time to receive letters and people interested in filling this position. I think that is the best, the most equitable, the fairest way that you can go about filling the position. I encourage you to please review these letters carefully for intent, not necessarily their English grammar or their words. And I also would very much like to know who all has submitted an application or a letter of interest to become appointed to the City Commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Jerry Steiner.
I think I might have forgot it the first time. My name is Jerry Steiner. I live at 115 South 26th Street in Battle Creek. I've come before you a couple other times on an issue that this commission has direct responsibility, and that's the raising the bus fares. I'm going to try to give you an analogy of some of the things I've studied. I've rode the bus in New York. I've rode the bus in Boston. And I've even rode the bus in Augusta, Georgia. And they all had one thing in common. All of them were full. Full. Had to wait on a seat. I've rode every bus in this city. They've never been full. So my question to the City Commission is, if your financial concerns are geared to raising the fares, and I understand the demographics in New York, Boston, and Augusta, Georgia are a little bit different here in Battle Creek, but if you listen at my analogy, you'll see what I'm saying. If, in fact, you can't fill the buses up here for $1.25, what makes you think you're going to fill them up for $1.75? Numbers don't add up. Now, I don't know what kind of market study you folks have done, but if you look at what I'm saying, numbers don't add up. You can't fill the buses up now for $1.25. What makes you think you're going to fill them up for $1.75? I'm looking at the panel. You and Mr. Lance are surrounded by females. Listen to them. They give you the key. I know you're getting a little taste of heaven because you're surrounded by all these girls. But remember one thing. If you don't properly govern the people, and especially the poor people, you're going to have a problem. And it ain't going to be financial, you know. That's going to be the least of your worries. I know they say, well, Steiner, we done already studied this, and we know where we're going. But nobody knows where they're going until the fat lady sings. You know, y'all don't know if the market study you put together is going to come to fruition. You don't know that. I don't know it. But I know if you can't fill a bus up here in Battle Creek at $1.25, you're not going to fill it up for $1.75. And I bet on that. And I've been known to lay a bet every now and then. So in saying that, whatever decision you made, and I'm quite sure you made a decision, I'm going to have to leave you like I always do. Peace.
Jerry, thank you very much. Thank you. Next, Lindsay Wheeler. Are there any other individuals while Lindsay's coming up here to speak? We'll go to Charlie Fulbright. Is there anyone else? Okay, Lindsay.
Lindsay Wheeler, 218 Leland Drive South. I want to reply to the exiting city commissioner at the last meeting who had the stained glass window brought down. She was gloating on taking down a racist, bigoted, hate-filled symbol. How does self-defense become racist, bigoted, and hate-filled? I have no idea. Is this bizarro world? An Indian rushes out of the woods and attacks 2 surveyors, and it is the surveyors that have racism, bigotry, and hate? How does that work? I'm stumped. I don't see any logic here. Rationality with all your college degrees? I don't have a college degree, thank God. And then, how do you get from being a victim to being called evil? So you're gaslighting the victims? That's real brilliant. And then how is the act racist when the word racist wasn't coined until the 1900s in a one little book, and the word only got up to the general public in the 1930s? So you're going back into history and rewriting history to conform to modern views? How does one go back into history and charge them with a crime when the word wasn't even coined? What's the logic in that? There is no logic. I am dumbfounded how an act of self-defense becomes racist, bigoted, or hate-filled. Is it hate-filled to keep oneself from being murdered? Some guy charges me and I defend myself and then I'm guilty of a crime? Or are we protecting the Indian? Because if the Indian attacked, isn't it the Indian that is being racist, bigoted, and hate-filled? Is not the Indian being an Indian supremacist? What, the Indian didn't believe in open borders? Did the Indian attack the whites because the whites were replacing them? Didn't the American Indian believe in the Great Replacement? And he did. They all did. Or was the Indian on a bender, just drunk? Who attacked who? So the victims of the Indian rage have racism, bigotry, and hate, and so the stained glass window had to come down. How does that work? You people are a bunch of lunatics, certifiable lunatics. 2 + 2 = -150? Is that how you minds work? You're about stupid. I can't understand this. The conclusions drawn by this city commission about the stained glass window are so twisted as to be absurd. The illogic, the unreason involved in the judgment here is so blighted, it is enough to make one's head explode in consternation.
Charlie Fulbright.
Charlie Fulbright, pronouns he, him, 312 Capitol Avenue, Northeast, Battle Creek, Michigan, 49017. I forgot to mention earlier, so I wanted to mention to you all and to the public that's watching, Battle Creek Pride's website, www.battlecreekpride.org, has all of our events, the dates, the times, and what's happening, so feel free to visit that if you didn't get the dates earlier. And love is love is love is love is love is love is love. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Charlie. Yes, sir.
Roger Ballard, 128 Althea Avenue. I would like to thank each and every one of you for serving on this board, and I understand how hard it is to make decisions, and you deserve respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. It's very kind of you. John Kennefic.
John Kennefic, 234 South Avenue. This is in regards to the passing of Resolution 431. I'm always in regards to fiscal responsibility. The Kellogg Arena has been operating for approximately 40 years. If I was a commissioner up there before I passed a resolution of $195,300, I'd be asking certain questions that were never even asked. Question number one, since the arena began operating, has it ever showed any kind of profit? How much money, question two, has the government of Battle Creek through the public treasury or any other means bolstered or kept the Kellogg Arena operational at the taxpayer expense? When you have things that are non-essential and you make sure that they get paid and then you turn around and say we don't have enough money for the essential services, that's just a magic sleight of hand by con artists. One of the things that was said in that article on October 20th, 2005, was outside of the fact that it was written there, very bottom, the next article below it says, Godfrey defends city tax increases to help general fund. So when you raid the public treasury for things that are non-essential, and then you turn around and say we have to pay for the essential things, you haven't solved the problem. You just increased it because you gave cost increases that will continue to basically cancer grow within the city of Battle Creek. I would like to see the citizens of Battle Creek pay less taxes because that makes it more inviting for people to come to Battle Creek compared to other areas. But apparently you're not interested in that, and you will continue on like you've done over the last 20 years or better. And somewhere along the line, you're going to have problems down the road financially. What are you going to do? Give us more cost increases? That's usually the plan. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other public comments, Deanne?
Dina Spencer, 34 Radley Street, Battle Creek. I want to thank you for passing the resolution today, Resolution 433, to fly the pride flag above City Hall. And I want people to understand that this resolution isn't just for us. This is other sectors of our population that need representation. Representing the people of this city is really important. And Roger is right. Doing your job is really hard, and it's really hard to hear some of the comments, and it's really hard to make the decisions. And it's also really hard to be willing to try to learn and understand what we don't understand, but being willing to grow and educate ourselves, and that's myself included. I'm recently in a situation where I'm not understanding some things, and I'm trying really hard to open my own mind in ways that I can grow. And I really appreciate that the city as a whole is doing the same. And I think we owe it to the people around us. I think we owe it to our fellow community members. I think we owe it to the public to continue to do that. And I really appreciate that the commission and the city is willing to do that and to move forward. And I'm really glad that we have some open-minded individuals that are willing to look at the bigger picture, and I appreciate that very much. So thank you all.
Thank you for your kindness. Are there any other public comments at this time? Hearing none, commission comments.
Mayor.
Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you. This evening has been very emblematic, I think, of where we are as a society. And, you know, I used to think that the opposite of love was hate. I actually think it's indifference. Just quoting a Lumineer song, but also something I believe. I think that I am so proud to serve a community, a city, the Human Relations Board that isn't indifferent to the pain and struggles of our community and really prioritizes what it looks like to have meaningful representation and symbolism. So I will continue as long as I am in this position and as chair of Human Relations Board to fight for that and to be a voice at all tables for those who aren't always sitting there. So I want to thank everyone who's here this evening. The passion that you showed and your way of genuinely helping us understand why it's so critically important that people are seen is just very much appreciated. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commission comments at this time? I just would like to close, as most of you are probably aware, there was a Kellogg announcement today. There will be some meetings tomorrow. First, there's a 9 o'clock meeting that we'll be attending at the Kellogg Company to find out more information. From my perspective, I believe it boils down to two organizations that are doing pretty well. The snack food business for the Kellogg Company could grow even further, I believe, if you understand the results that they shared with us. The cereal business struggles a little bit, but still it's bringing in about a 10.4% margin. Their meat processing or plant food business is an interesting business also, but that could end up being spun off. Rebecca will be conducting a press conference at 1 o'clock outside the police department tomorrow, and I'll be there with her, and we'll be answering any questions. I know there's a lot of concerns about the community about Kellogg leaving Battle Creek, and we will find out more information tomorrow and share that with the public. That's my synopsis right now, and if there's any other commission comments about the Kellogg decision, feel free to make a comment now. Rebecca, is there anything you would like to add?
No, I think the only thing I would add to that is that we were made aware that the Associated Press created a false headline this morning saying that headquarters was moving from Battle Creek to Chicago, and that is not the case. I ask everybody to read the press release that Kellogg issued. We certainly will have questions, but please know we are aware that Kellogg's has had a presence in Chicago for a long time, and we don't believe that that will change.
Thank you very much, and thank you for attending our meeting tonight. This meeting's adjourned.